Welcome back, YouTube. This is G Body Auto back at you. Working on a 2011 Gmc Acadia. Doing the hub bearing. Actually, we're gonna change the rotors and brakes and hub. I think only one side, the passenger side, is making the noise, but we're gonna go ahead and do both. This is somebody for a family member, so making sure it's all the way done. They don't have to worry about this at all. So we're going with the cross drill rotors. So anyway, so far we took apart the caliper, which were 19mm bolts. One at the top, one at the bottom, and that's it. And they come off. So the lug nuts were 22mm. Yeah, the lug nuts for the car, which they made these ones kind of cheap. But anyway, so two of the 19s, take them off, and then this middle bolt, that's a big one. We did not have, thought we had it here. That's a 34mm socket. So I had to go to the parts store to get that. I'm sure we had one or two around here at one point, but they're gone now. So some of these parts stores don't have that 34. They have 32. 32 is the common size a set will stop up to. So anyway, you see how rusted this thing is. So we just strap the caliper up there so it won't break the line. And this is where we're at now. So you got 3 bolts on the back side, which will be, show you here. You got a bolt here, bolt at the top, and bolt on the other side too. If I can get around it, you can't see it. But anyways, it's right there. You can see it at the top, yeah, right there. So those should be, I believe, either 17 or 15, something like that. Let me find that. One more thing before you take your rotor off. That is a Torx bit. That's a T30. So you will need to get that. I took the other one already off. Sometimes these things get stuck and they won't turn. Even that big lug, the nut in the middle, it's pretty rusted, as you see. The other one took a little minute to come off, but it came off. So let me see if this one will remove. Oh yeah, that would come off real easy. Several times I haven't gotten them to come off that easy. So thankfully, that was easy peasy. Okay, so this is actually a 13 back here. So you got those 3 bolts, take them out, and then the hub bearing should be loose. All right, got those 3 out. Sometimes you have to turn your wheel to the driver's side, and you should be able to get all 3 from that side, really. I did have to break one with the breaker bar. I turned it to the passenger side all the way that way first. So anyway, all 3 of those are out. Now you can just take your hammer and kind of beat that old hub bearing off. Actually, I need to take off the speed sensor. Don't forget to do that. That should be a 10. Came off nice and easily. Hope they don't break, so just wiggle it with a pair of pliers and see if you can get it loose, and then pull it straight out. All right, got my pair of pliers, just kind of wiggle it. Sometimes they'll break, so pull it straight out. Kind of catching it. Go. There we go. Now we can start knocking the hub loose. Just hit on the back side. Something that takes a while. You gotta turn the wheel the other way too. It's been on here for a long time. I just put some PB Blast on there to let it soak a little bit. I'm gonna go work on the other side. That way, since I got the socket on here, I'm going to go ahead and work on this and get this one all loose and have it soak at the same time. Ooh, that was a real tough one to get off. This thing was so rusted and probably overheated so many times. Them bearings getting hot. everything was seized up. I had to knock it, pick out Big Mama right there. Usually you can just use that. So I'm on the passenger side. I'm about to go back to the driver's side. But you can see all the corrosion in there. Need to clean that all up with the wire brush. The driver's side really gave me a fight, so I'll let it soak for a little bit. I'm trying to knock that in. And a little trick, if your hub nut, the axle nut is, the threads or not wanting to go in, because sometimes they want to stick to the actual hub bearing. Just put a nut on there and then knock it in, because if you don't, and you hit that and warp that or hit the threads by accident, you won't be able to put another nut on there. So it's better to put a nut on there and then hit it. That should go in. See how long it's taking for it to go in. So imagine that being stuck on the hub. So always put a nut on there before you hit that end. There we are. It finally fell out. But the axle is still holding on, as you can see. And that's why you gotta leave that nut on there to hit it in as much as possible. And then it'll fall off. It should be loose now. This is a couple hits. And took off my gloves and everything. Nowadays I work with gloves. I didn't used to do that all the time. It's still trying to hold on it now. Not much left. Definitely was time to change these. So anyway, take your plate off, because I bent that plate back on purpose so I can get a good hit on it, because that was in the way. So just make sure you hit your plate back flat. All right, I'm gonna clean this up. Like I said, get a wire brush. I usually have one I can put on my drill and just go around it real quick, but I gotta work with what I can work with right now. So clean that up. I always put a little some gear, what do you call it? Gear oil, not gear oil, but grease on there just to keep it from rusting. All right, old one, new one. Nice and smooth. So already got this thing kind of greased up. So I always recommend that grease, high temp grease. Like I said in other videos, I probably had this bucket, I don't know, 15 years, 10, 15 years. So a little bit goes a long way. All right, so it's ready to go back in. So you just position it. Let's see here. Kind of the same way you took it out. Got to put on these gears. So I lubed up them gears too. I need to actually put some grease on those, because I put some PB Blaster on them, but I like to lube these up too. These were so tight, it was hard for the impact to get it, but it got it. High torque impact. But yeah, lube all that up. And just so you want to fight so much, go ahead and turn your steering wheel back centered, because if you don't, and this is turned to one way or the other, you're going to fight this axle. It's going to be turned. So turn it centered, that way you can slide it right in. Okay, I got it kind of pretty much where I wanted it. So it's just about wiggling it in the right spots to get your bolt holes to line up. You know, making sure your plate is lined up like that. And then try to slide a bolt in there. See the bolt going through. There it is. Thread it a few times. Put your socket on there, thread it again. So I'm gonna get these all lined up and then get them all going by hand first. All right, I got them all threaded in there by hand. So now you can get your impact on there and start tightening them up. All right, got them all good and snug. You can put your nut on. I'm gonna just hand tighten it, because I'm gonna go to the other side while I have that 13 mil on there, and put the other one in. That way I won't be switching sockets back and forth. So head to the other side and do the same thing. I gotta clean it up and then lube it up and then put it in. Got the new rotors going on right there. Yeah, so now Got new brake pads. The other ones wasn't too bad actually. Got some good meat left. But I ordered the rotor set with new pads, so they're gonna be good for years now on this one. Yep. I'm gonna get all that rust painted. That way it can look decent. I hate seeing rotors rusted and brake pads, and not brake pads, but the caliper. All the little details, you know, I hate seeing rusted stuff like that. So get them painted up. All right, y'all, that's pretty much the end result right there. Rotor, new pads on. And I'm gonna spray that caliper, and that way it's nice and clean and black. So this is another one from G Body Auto, saving you time, saving you money. Thanks for watching.